Welcome to the Sarah Finkelstein Show, where the next 10 minutes can change your life. Also on Spotify, SoundCloud, and iHeartRadio. Here's Sarah.
Good afternoon. Where's my slide? A very important topic that I want to talk to you about, and maybe you have been thinking about this very important question yourself. When is the absolute worst time to lose money in the market? I think most of us can agree that the market is very volatile. And so you may be wondering about this particular question. Can we make the slides any larger? Or this is it? Perfect. Okay, great. So let's talk about this question. And I'm sure that the next few minutes that we will spend together, you will learn a lot of valuable information. Next. Just a little bit about me. I am a registered financial consultant. I've been in the financial and insurance industry for the last 30 years. And don't worry, this is not about selling. I'm not going to try to sell you anything. I'm just looking to help you understand and get educated about things that maybe your financial advisor, if you have one or two or three, may not have brought up to your attention. Next. So just a little bit about me. After all, why should you be listening to me? I am, as I said, a registered financial consultant, have made the move to sunny Florida back in 1990. I am also a registered Social Security analyst. Don't worry, that doesn't mean that I am in any way affiliated with the Social Security Administration. It just means that I took some courses to be more prepared to help clients when they get to that Social Security decision. And our goal is to help Americans enjoy financial peace of mind. How do we do that? By planning in advance. Everything boils down to your plan. And Benjamin Franklin said, people don't plan to fail. They just fail to plan. Isn't that the truth? Next. So let's take a look at the history of the stock market. For example, the S&P 500 index from 2008 to the present. Now remember, 2008 was that market crash that we had where the market went down about 37%. And you could see all these dips along the way since 2008 up until this year, 2026. So the pink lines represent the bear markets when the markets go down. The blue vertical lines represent market corrections, and we've had a few. And the dark blue line, I should say the light blue bars, the dark blue line shows the S&P 500 and what it has done. And you could see plenty of dips along the way. It goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down. That's how the market reacts. But you could take a look, and you probably can't see it because this slide is really small. Perfect. There we go. And wonderful. Thank you, tech support. So you could see on the left-hand side, in 2008, it's showing negative 58%. I believe that was cumulative, because I do remember in 2008, the market went down about 37%, I think it was. But this might be, the 58% might be a little before 2008. And then we look at negative 16%, negative 19%, negative 12%, negative 13%, negative 10, negative 19, and so on. So when is the worst time to lose money in the market? We're going to talk about that very, very important important for us to be aware of. But also, let's learn a little bit more about bear markets. So, next slide, please. The history and length of the S&P 500 bear markets, going back almost 100 years to 1929. And those blue horizontal bars represent the length of that particular bear market. You could see 783 days, 783 days in 1930, 173 days, 1940, 535 days. In 2000, it was 929 days. So these are the bear markets. Remember, bear market, market goes down. Bull market, market goes up. Next slide. We are currently in a bull market. If you have 401k accounts, mutual fund accounts, whatever it may be, you're probably very happy right now because we are in a bull market. And it has been a bull market for quite some time. However, the question is, how long will this bull market last? I mean, we all know, I think instinctively, we know what goes up must come down at some point. What are your feelings? How long do you think this bull market will last? Do you think it's going to last forever? I think most of us can agree that it's not going to last forever. Next slide. So downturns, when the market goes down, can have a significant impact on your portfolio, on your nest egg, on your retirement plan. The big difference is downturns that occur before your retirement may just be a temporary decline. But downturns in your retirement could have a permanent effect, causing permanent damage to your retirement plan. And let's take a look at such an and I always like to share this particular slide because it tells a lot. Next slide. Have you heard of the Hatfields and the McCoys? I just love telling this story. It's just amazing. So the Hatfields and the McCoys, two couples, both age 65, retiring, both have $500,000 in their retirement nest egg. Both take out 4% a year, which is adjusted for inflation. So they get a raise each year, and they both average 9% return. They're both invested in the S&P 500. And look at the drastic difference between the Hatfields and the McCoys. Now, the Hatfields are on the left-hand side. So what happens is the Hatfields actually run out of money by the age of 89. No more retirement money. Whereas the McCoys on the right-hand side still have, at the age of 95, still have over $2.6 million. How can this be? How can one couple run out of money at 89 and another couple have well over $2 million at the age of 95? Well, it has to do with market returns, right? We do know that the market goes up and the market goes down, but we don't know when it's going to go up and when it's going to go down. So take a look at the Hatfields. What happened to them is the first year after they retired, the market went down 38%. So when you're taking money out of your retirement nest egg and the market goes down, how do you make up for such a significant loss? The answer is it's impossible. Now, if you take a close look at these returns, you will realize that they both had the same returns, just in a flip-flopped fashion. So where the Hatfields had a huge loss in the beginning of their retirement, the McCoys had that loss towards the latter years of their retirement. So this is called sequence of returns, and this is something that is very real. And how can you avoid sequence of returns? Because none of us control the market. None of us are in control of when the market goes up and the market goes down. What we can control is how much money we put at risk. And let's not forget that the market is risky. When things are going up, we're all happy and delighted. But when things go down, it's a different story. So the moral of the story is, as you get older, more of your retirement nest egg should be safe and secure and guaranteed. A lot of times people think that their investments are safe. But remember what happened in 2008? Everybody lost money. The market went down as a whole. Next slide. During our working years, we tend to earn more money as our career gets more established. And even though the cost of living might go up, so does our salary from a job. When we retire, we depend on what to replace our paycheck: Social Security and pension. Now, if you're one of those people that is fortunate enough to have a pension, guess what? Even though you have a pension and your Social Security, which is guaranteed to pay you for the rest of your life, most likely you will find yourself having an income gap. Very common in retirement, and many of us don't even think about it. We don't even anticipate it, but it's something more important enough that we need to plan for it. Next. In retirement, income is the outcome that matters most, because if you've got the income that you need to maintain your standard of living, these are the people that are happiest in retirement. They have multiple sources of guaranteed lifetime income: Social Security, maybe a pension, although most people don't have access to a company pension anymore. A lot of the company retirement plans have been replaced by a 401k plan, which is not guaranteed. So income is number one important in your retirement. When you have sufficient income, you can weather the storms. Next. In our practice, the way that we help people be prepared for their retirement and not have to go back to work after they retire is a 4-step process. Step 1 is making sure that you have the income that you need, which replaces your paycheck. Number 2 is to protect your nest egg from various risks, such as long-term care, life insurance. Step 3 is taxes, limiting your tax burden. And step 4 of the plan is legacy, where your money goes when you're no longer here. Maybe you want your money to go to your children, relatives, or a charity. So this is the 4-step process that we use to help clients be prepared and have a joyful, carefree retirement. Next. How do we solve for that income gap? Well, have you heard of an annuity? Now, a lot of times people have negative perceptions about annuities. And of course, there's all different kinds of annuities depending upon the goals and the needs of the client. Some are good, some are not good. Did you know that Social Security is an annuity? What it does is it pays you a certain dollar amount based on your work earnings history, and it pays you that for as long as you live. So basically, as annuity is a vehicle where you give the insurance company X number of dollars, and they in turn guarantee you X number of dollars in return for the rest of your life. And annuities have been around for hundreds of years. So the type of annuity that we would select would determine what the goals are. What do we need? What do we need to accomplish? And again, all kinds of annuities is very simple concept. You give the insurance company X number of dollars and they pay you X number of dollars back for as long as you live. And what is the benefit of doing that? As opposed to, say, having your money sitting in the bank. Well, if you keep taking out, let's use round, simple numbers. If you have $100,000 sitting in the bank and you take out $10,000 a year, eventually you will deplete your whole bank account, right? It'll be gone because you've taken it in the form of income. However, what happens if you live more than the 10 years and you've depleted your account? This is why people will get an annuity with a guaranteed lifetime income rider. So even if they live beyond the 10 years, they live 20 years, they live 30 years, or maybe even longer than 30 years, the insurance company guarantees that it will pay you that same figure for the rest of your life. So you're guaranteed to get that, just like your Social Security retirement benefits. And guess what? A life insurance company is the only entity that could provide you with this guaranteed lifetime income. And this is a great idea for people that don't have a pension. Because remember, your 401k, once you leave your job, it's not guaranteed to provide you with lifetime income. And your 401k is subject to market losses too, depending upon what happens in the market. And believe it or not, a lot of money flows into these annuities. Next. Have you heard of LIMRA, Life Insurance Marketing Research Association? They do a lot of studies and provide information on life insurance and annuities. In 2025, just last year, 460 billion with a B has gone into all kinds of annuities, not just income annuities, but all kinds of annuities. With all this money going into annuities, you got to understand how important the benefit is that annuities provide. It's not a joke. It's serious why people put their money into annuities. And we happen to like working with carriers that are very, very solid in the A range, A rating range. Next. So does anybody in the audience have any questions? How concerned should I be about market volatility? Excellent question. And that really depends on your age, because if you're in your 40s, for example, you have plenty of time horizon ahead of you. You have time to make up for drastic losses. Even if the market may go down 40%, you still have that time horizon. However, the worst time to lose money is, write this down, the 5 years before you retire and the first 5 years after your retirement, as you could have seen with the comparison of the Hatfields and the McCoys. So remember, before retirement, when the market has a downturn, it's a temporary thing. But when you're already retired, as you saw what happened to the Hatfields, they ran out of money. So it really depends on how much time you have ahead of you and also what your other assets might be that you can fall back on. Next question. When should you start planning for retirement? Well, the sooner the better, because if you have more time ahead of you before you retire, there may be more options available to you, and you can have that money growing for you to generate a larger guaranteed lifetime income. So the sooner the better, but it's never too late. There's always strategies that we can implement to maximize your income in retirement. Any other questions? What other challenges will you face in retirement? That's an excellent question, because I see a lot of people going into retirement totally unprepared for those potential challenges. And what surprises me quite a bit is we run across people that have one financial advisor, two financial advisors, sometimes three financial advisors, and their financial advisor might be great at growing their money, which is wonderful. But that is just one piece of your retirement plan. The challenges that you might be facing is healthcare core in retirement. For example, many people don't realize that Medicare does not cover long-term care. Taxes is another challenge. And let's not forget, we're all living longer. Big challenge is longevity. To make sure that we don't run out of money before we run out of life. So these are just a few of the challenges that many of us will be facing. And I hope that you do have somebody who's helping you and guiding you with these challenges. Of course, if you'd like to reach out to us, we're happy to have a conversation and even offer you a second opinion on what you're doing. Next. So what is the next step? The next step is reach out to us. We have a couple of books that we could share with you. We also have a monthly newsletter. And feel free to reach out, and we'll happily give you a second opinion on what you're doing. Next. Thank you for joining us today. And I hope that you learned something that will be beneficial for you.
Knowledge is power, but only when you implement what you've learned to your own benefit. Tune in next time for even more powerful tips on the Sarah Finkelstein Show.